12. Back to the chocolate factory. And then the noise sprang through woods and broken grass and absolute darkness, and the most awful crunching sound as the elevator rushed on and on, smashing everything before it. All at once, the crashing noises stopped and the ride became smoother, and the elevator seemed to be traveling on guides or rails, twisting and turning like a roller coaster. And when the light came on, Charlie suddenly realized that for the last few seconds he hadn't been floating at all. He had been standing normally on the floor. Mr. Wonka was on the floor, too. And so the Grandpa Joe and Mr. and Mrs. Bucket, and also the big bed. As for Grandma Josephine, Grandma Georgina, and Grandpa George, they must have fallen right back on the bed because they were now already on the top of it, was scrabbling to get under the blanket. Throw! Yelled Mr. Wonka. We've done it! Win! Grandpa Joe grabbed him by the hand and said, Well done, sir! How splendid! What a magnificent job! Where in the world are we now? Said Mrs. Bucket. We're back, Mother, Charlie cried. We're back in Chocolate Factory. I'm very glad to hear it, said Mrs. Bucket. But didn't we come rather a long way round? We had to, said Mr. Wonka, to avoid the traffic. I have never met a man, said Grandma Georgina, who talks too much absolute nonsense. A little nonsense now and then, a relish by the wisest man, Mr. Wonka said. Why don't you pay some attention to where this crazy elevator going? Cried Grandma Josephine. Crazy elevator. And stop footling about. A little footling round about will stop you going up the spot, said Mr. Wonka. What did I tell you? Said Grandma Georgina. His round twisted bog as a fiddle, his stoddy as a dingbat. He's got a rat in the roof. I want to go home. Too late, said Mr. Wonka. We're there. The elevator stopped. The door opened and Charlie found himself looking out once again as the great chocolate room with a chocolate river and the chocolate waterfall where it was eatable. The trees, the leaves, the grass, the paddles, and even the rocks, and there to meet them as the hundred tiny Oompa Loompas were waving and cheering. It was a sight that took one breath away. Even Grandma Georgina was stunned into silence for a few seconds, but not for long. Who in the world are all those peculiar little men? She said. That's a Oompa Loompa, Charlie told her. They're wonderful. You'll love them. Shh, said Grandma Joe. Listen, Charlie. The drum are starting up. They're going to sing. All right, shouted Mr. Wonka, laughing and raising both hands. Thank you for your welcome. Will some of you please help to get this bat out of here? Oh, you, fifth Oompa Loompa ran forward and pushed the bed with a 301 in it out of the elevator. Mr. and Mrs. Bucket both looked completely overwhelmed by it all, following the bed out. Then came Grandpa Joe, Charlie, and Mr. Wonka. Now, said Mr. Wonka, addressing Grandpa George, Grandma Georgina, and Grandma Josephine, up you hop out of that bed, and let's get cracking. I'm sure you all want to lend a hand running the factory. Who, us? Said Grandma Josephine. Yes, you, said Mr. Wonka. You must be joking, said Grandma Georgina. I never joke, said Mr. Wonka. Now just you listen to me, sir, said old Grandpa George, sitting up straight in bed. You've got us into quite enough trouble and trouble. For one day, I've got you out of them too, said Mr. Wonka proudly, and I'm going to get you out of that bed as well. You see if I don't.